Hey folks, just got back from a nice little session of pickleball, and I wanted to share some information that you're going to want to keep an eye on as we move forward. All the large investment firms, all the large institutions, they're going to have to get in. And so, and you've seen some of them already pretty much announce it, but here's Morgan Stanley. They're in. Here we go from Lawrence Leopard. He's saying that Morgan Stanley suggests a 4% allocation. It's a start, but everybody bends the knee eventually. And it's true. That's what's going to happen. They're going to have to come in, especially with ISO 20022 going mandatory in November. And there's a video speaking about that specifically coming up here soon. But then Hunter Horsley beneath says, this is huge, and let's take a closer look. He goes on to say that the new special report from Morgan Stanley, the GIC, says, we aim to support our financial advisors and clients who may flexibly allocate to cryptocurrency as part of their multi-asset portfolios. GIC guides 16,000 advisors. That's a ton of advisors who are in turn suggesting and selling and advising these investments to their customers. 16,000 advisors. Each of those has no less than 300 clients, probably more. And these are high net worth clients. So it says 16,000 advisors managing $2 trillion in savings and wealth for clients. That's a nice big chunk. And it says we're entering the mainstream era. And it's true. Once Wall Street is able to, without repercussions from the SEC or the government, make money off of cryptocurrency, because it is an asset class. It is the way money and value will be moved. It'll be the way money and value are created. It will be the way money and value are managed. And so what are they in the business of? Managing wealth, managing value, and making money off of the management of those values. So if everything is tokenized, that means it's on the blockchain, whether it's XRP or other blockchains, depending on what it is that they're aiming to do, right? Value will be transferred, will be created, will be managed through these blockchains and AI, and they want to be in on the game. And so once we get that Clarity Act from the government, which, like I've said before, they need it. It's not that whether or not they want to do it, they have to do it, preferably before the end of this year, and that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to rush in. They're not the only ones. You're going to see, I got a video about Standard Chartered coming up also. But let's take a closer look at these documents. So there's the asset allocation considerations for cryptocurrency, and then it gives it to you there. You can pause to read that. I'll just leave it there for you. Go right ahead and pause that if you like. And there's the next one. So you can pause to read that. But of course they're in. And don't think that they just thought about doing this now. If they're in right now, they've been preparing for it, I want to say over the last 3 years at a minimum, but most likely before that. This doesn't just happen overnight. This doesn't just happen because, oh, hey, Donald Trump got elected in November and he's a pro-crypto president, so we better get on this right now. That's not how it works. These are insiders. They know what's up. They have been preparing for this precisely. And what else is it that Ripple is offering to these large institutions? Custody, digital asset custody. And they're not bringing it to you and me directly. They're going to the major players that have 16,000 advisors managing $2 trillion in assets. Other large firms are managing much more than $2 trillion in assets with many more advisors under them. But there's going to have to be a way to custody it. And that's what Ripple comes in to do. And so Ripple has custody. Ripple will have, of course, the blockchain that transfers value. You can tokenize on the XRP ledger. And it also has the on-demand liquidity, the systems, the RippleNet system in which you can transfer all that utilizing the digital asset XRP. So they're going to be rushing in, guys. These little flash crashes are nothing more than opportunities if you're invested in the right digital assets, the ones that do have utility, the ones that will manage and transfer value in the future global digital asset economy. So that's what I'm looking at, and I hope you see what I see. And if you don't, that's okay. We don't need to agree, but the information's there. They're telling you. They're not they're not being sheepish about it. They're basically screaming at the top of their lungs at this point, because you're hearing it from institutions, from governments, cryptocurrency companies, from regulatory agencies like the SEC, the CFTC. You're hearing it from places like the Bank of International Settlement, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. You're hearing it all over the world from many banks, many major players. And so it's pretty clear. You have to move into that next system. I remember when cell phones were a rare thing. Now everybody has one. I remember when ATMs were a rare thing. Now everybody has one. I remember when CDs and DVDs were a rare thing, and everybody had them, and then they disappeared. And now what does everybody do? We stream. It's all digital now, right? Same thing with our communications. It's all digital. So it only makes sense that our money goes digital too. And here we go. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and bookmark. And we will see you guys on the next one. Until next time, adios, amigos.